Shalom. Well, we have our barbarians too. Not quite as bad as some of the, by any measure, as the other barbarians, but we've got them. And case in point today, which is in May of 2013, and the incident of the holiest place of the Jewish people. There's a group of women called Women of the Wall, simply pious women who wanted to pray, and they came there wearing tallitot, which, according to Rashi, Rambam, Rabbeinu Tam, and the Rashba, and some other great rabbis, greatest rabbis in Jewish history permitted, were hassled and harassed by Haredim, to the point of things thrown at them, a clash with the police. Now let's do some background. With the dawn of the state, in order to get the state going, Ben Gurion promised the Haredim they could be exempt from military service, and their students could be full-time yeshiva students. There were 400 at the time. He didn't put a cap on it. Now it's 40,000. And until the recent elections, there was no political pressure from the majority of the parliament to force them. Well, now, because of the recent election, thank God, they're going to have to do their service too. Many of them evaded taxes, and the most fanatics among them were anti-Israel, specifically with the state. You know, I'd go to these pro-Israel conferences, and they'd have Neturei Karta Hasidim standing there with signs saying Israel is Zionism. It was just unbelievable. Well, when Israel had the Western Wall, most of the Western Wall's history, there was no mechitza, no separation of men and women. And now there has been, and that's been something that we haven't been happy with, but existed. And then pluralistic groups, including women with tallitot and tefillin, tried to pray with the fence that ran parallel to the kotel that was many steps away, outside of the mechitza area, and they were hassled and endangered, physically felt endangered by the Hasidim there. So finally, after years of court battles, the Jerusalem court recently ruled that the women of the wall and pluralistic groups could pray at the kotel. So today they went to do that, and of course, typically the monsters and barbarians of the Jewish world attack them and try to say that they were a stain on the Torah. We know what's a stain on the Torah? The Hasidim. Now, I know that there are many nice Hasidim, and there are many Hasidim who contribute vitally to the Jewish people, like your average Chabad down the street, even though they undercut synagogues by offering one-day Hebrew schools. It's funny, they pretend to be so frum when they have the lowest common denominator Hebrew school, and they offer tuition-free memberships, which is very nice, except it totally undercuts the modern synagogue. But they offer nice programs, they seem friendly, so people like them. And they seem authentic because they dress in those funny clothes. Okay, so I'm sure they have sincere hearts, and many of them are contributing mightily to Jewish outreach. But these particular ones who call people who want to pray sincerely and honestly, in the context of Jewish history, stains on the Torah, they are the barbarians. So let the Hasidim today tell the Rambam and the Rashba and the Rabbeinu Tam and Rashi that women don't have a right to wear a tallit. They quote these modern-day supposed learned rabbis who know nothing about Judaism in that regard, who just say no to everything without thinking about the really basic issues of life. Just because somebody is exempt according to a sexist text and having to follow the mitzvot from a time when women had other obligations than the shared obligations that are today, a different sociological context, saying the rule should apply is just insane. And even in the Middle Ages, the rabbis knew it was ridiculous to bar women from wearing a holy garment to remind us of the mitzvot. And so we had this great cultural clash. It is a stain on Judaism that Jews are shown trying to beat up the police who are following the civil order of a very sensible and wise decree, allowing women to do that. And all I could say is shame on the Hasidim and the rabbis who promulgated this conflagration right before Shavuot, the holiday of the accepting of the Torah, the giving of the Torah, of the birthday of the Torah.